Hi everybody and welcome to Skill Up. My name is Ahmed Akbari and I'm IELTS instructor. I usually record my teachings in my classes, and today we worked on IELTS Speaking Part 3 and our focus was on comparing questions, which are one of the most difficult questions and most complicated ones, in fact, for IELTS Speaking Part 3. So if you have problem answering these types of questions, or if you have problem understanding the concept and the focus of these questions, I think watching this video can be helpful for you. Thank you. Okay, that's good and great. Since Minu was absent last session, in the beginning of this session, we are going to have a short review of comparing questions in IELTS Speaking Part 3. Okay, so first of all, I want you to read some of the questions, Minu, for the class.
With this?
Yes, using that.
What is the difference between making a decision alone and making decision after group discussion?
So, okay, making decision alone and in a group discussion. Next.
What is the difference between watching movie at home with cinemas? What is the difference between buildings in cities and countryside?
Okay.
How have people's shopping habits changed in recent decades?
That's good and great. Thank you. So I want you to help me. What were some sample starters that we could hear in the beginning? What were the keywords that were different and showed this comparison?
Difference between.
That's good. So what was the difference? What is the difference between? Exactly. So when we hear what's the difference between, it means that you are supposed to compare two things. And there was something else. Can you read your last question again?
Yes. How have people's shopping habits changed in recent decades?
So, how should we make comparison here? Can you tell me?
It's a one statement, but in two different.
That's good. Two different things. And we are supposed to compare people's shopping habit in the
Past and
present.
That's good. So basically there are two keywords. Yeah. What's the difference between, or how has? And there are some other things such as, for example, how young and old people reacted differently. So here again, the keyword differently shows the signal that you are supposed to make a comparison. So these are the sample starters, which can be very helpful if you listen to them carefully. They'll show you what the question type is. And the next thing that we're supposed to talk about is the concept and the focus. What should we do? Okay? You are supposed to discuss differences between two attitudes. What's the difference between young people and elderly people regarding advertisement? What's the difference between these two age group, their attitude towards advertising? So as you can see, sometimes it's an attitude, sometimes it's a cultural trend. How has shopping changed in your country in recent years? So you're supposed to talk about the cultural trend, and sometimes it's completely a personal preference. What's the difference between when people make a decision alone or make a decision in group? So as you can see, these are the three main things that you are supposed to talk about. And because part 3 IELTS Speaking is discussion, mostly these are abstract things. And the next thing that we are supposed to remember, make sure you take no side and explore both ideas in the question. Imagine I asked you this question. What's the difference between living in a city and living in a countryside? Living in the countryside. And when you start answering, you say, okay, from my point of view, living in mega cities is far better than rural areas. And the first reason is that you have access to a wide range of amenities in mega cities, such as, this is a wrong answer, because I didn't ask you to tell me which one is better. If you take a side in these types of questions, you'll go off topic, because in fact you are taking a side. You are not comparing two things. As a result, you completely ignore one part and you just focus on the specific part that you are exploring and developing. So do not take any side. Just make sure you talk about both sides. And the focus of the question is to check your ability to make comparisons. The examiner wants to know making comparison as a complex function of language. Because when you're supposed to compare two things, it means that you're good at speaking English. Am I right? Because it's a difficult thing. It's a complex idea. And the examiner wants to check how much you're good at this ability. And because of that, again, make sure you explore both sides. And the second thing is your appropriate language. Are you able to use appropriate language when you're making comparison? And your coherent organization of ideas. So these two things are very important. Yes, first one is appropriate language and a coherent organization of ideas, which is focused on both sides, discusses both sides, not on the first or the second one. So the next thing, how to answer them. Basically, there are two ways, okay? In the first way, you just focus on part A. You talk about this part, and then you use a transitional signal such as however, and then focus on the second part. When you're discussing part A, you're exploring, you just focus on it. You talked about advantages, disadvantages, you give examples, you analyze it. Okay, you explore your idea. And then your transition, however, and then part B. This is the first way. When you're here, you don't talk about here. Okay? In fact, we can say you discuss them separately. The first side is just dedicated to this part, and side B is dedicated to side B. And you have a transition which links them and makes it easy for your listener to understand what you're saying. And there is another variation here, okay? And this one is so interesting. First of all, you can say, on the one hand, explore your idea here. Explain, give examples, advantages, disadvantages. Then, on the other hand, and then discuss part B. Discuss the second side. Mina, can you ask me a question? I want to answer it.
Number one, for example?
I don't know, whatever that you like.
What is the difference between making a decision alone and making decision after group discussion?
That's good. Listen to me. You know, from my point of view, they are a world apart. Again, I want you to use it. It's a nice expression, okay? Because it's idiomatic. They are a world apart. You know, when you make a decision alone, first of all, you have freedom of choice. And this is your own ideas, which tells you what to choose and what to do. So this freedom can help you to make your decision faster, particularly if it's a very important decision that you need to make it, soon. And but however, when you make a decision in a group, first of all, you need to remember that it may take more time because you're supposed to discuss the decision with other people in your group, and then after that, you need to make decision based on these ideas. But I have to say, when you do that, maybe the decision that you are making in this situation can be more accurate, and it can bring positive results because you have shared your ideas and you talked about differences, you talked about maybe good points or bad points. As you could see, I just talked about the first side, and then I discussed, however, part B. The second one, you don't use this strategy. First of all, you structure the differences using titles. First of all, you express the main difference as a title, and then you talk about A and you talk about B. If there is second difference, you use a signal. In addition to that, or you say the second difference is, then again there is a title, and under this title you discuss both of these ideas. Mostly it gives you a very easy to follow, maybe way to answer the question. I mean, please ask another question.
What is the difference between watching movies at home with cinemas?
What is the difference between watching movies at home and cinema? Let's do it with this part. I suppose there are lots of differences between them. And the first difference which comes to my mind is about your convenience. When you watch a movie at home, you have this chance to lie down on your sofa, wear whatever which is comfortable for you, pause whenever you want. And as a result, it gives you a very comfortable experience of watching a movie. But when you're at a cinema, because you're in a public place, you don't have that much maybe freedom. And you need to somehow sit in a specific way, don't make noise, you can't stop anything, and you just need to go with the flow. And the second difference that I want to talk about is the movies. Going to the cinema gives you this chance to see the newest movies, the movies that have been released recently. But when you're watching at home, basically you don't have that much maybe opportunity to see this newest movie. And the last difference is that I would like to talk about is about social experience. Watching a movie at cinema is basically a social experience. After going out from cinema, you can talk about the movies, you can share your ideas, and as a result, you're improving your social connections, maybe with friends. But at home, maybe you don't have that much opportunity to experience this kind of social setting. So these are the three differences. As you could see, I started with the first difference, and then A and B, and using a transitional signal, or maybe using the second difference is that, and then I put it in a title, and then I discussed A and B. So, is there any question right now? Nothing. So can we start for?
I have a question.
Yeah?
Should we mention both advantages and disadvantages?
That's a nice question. Okay, if you're using this strategy, okay, here, and you're exploring an idea here, yes, of course, it is better to discuss both advantages and disadvantages here. Okay, and then do the same here, because most of the time when something is disadvantages here, obviously it would be advantage here. Yeah. So if you want to talk about advantages, yeah, try to focus on both advantages and disadvantages here, and both advantages and disadvantages here. Yeah, make sure you do both of them. Thank you for asking the question.
Can we just talk about the different
Can you use the mic?
My voice is loud.
That's great. Go on.
Can't we just talk about the different points of view instead of talking about the advantages and disadvantages?
Why not? Yeah, you can analyze it. Yeah, talking about advantages and disadvantages just is the only way. Yeah, you have lots of other ways. We will check it together, okay? While I'm giving you feedback. Any other question? So go for a practice. Go.